Hello everyone. We are going to be working on contour line drawings to start, right? And we're going to go with open contour line drawing, which means that I can look at the paper while I draw. I'm going to work through a couple of these videos talking about, the exercise, how you should work through the exercise, and what the learning outcomes you want to have from doing this exercise. So, the first thing, the drawing is a continuous line drawing. You really don't want to pick your pencil up off on the paper. You want to see how long you can sustain your hand-eye coordination and talking to yourself through where different parts of this object are in relationship to other parts of the object, right? As we draw, it'll become more clear. So it's one continuous line. You're talking to yourself, talking about how long that edge might be in there, what kind of a curve might be in here, the same type of curve in here, where that shadow is, even little marks like what's happening in here. How far do they go across? How far do they come back out? A chisel mark like that in there. So I really want to stress that you should be talking to yourself in these drawings. It's a great way of building, reinforcing what you're looking at and learning to see this object for what it is, not what we think about it is. So there's plenty of times, and I can see it when I'm drawing, I'm just looking at the paper, looking at the paper, looking at the paper, looking at the paper, right? So if I can start to train myself to talk about where I am in this drawing and use that as a means of looking at this object more and more, then I'm going to learn more about that, right? And I probably will come closer to establishing a like set of relationships, meaning that I have the right proportions from here to here to here to there to there to there to there to there and across. Okay? So, with that said, I'm going to start up in here somewhere. I'm going to start somewhere. Let's start down in here because I get some shapes and contrast and whatnot going. And I'm going to start out on the other side of this, right in there. So I'm going to be in here with this, right? I'm going to get comfortable, and Nicolaides says when you put your pencil down on the paper, don't draw until you really believe you're touching that area, right? So now where I start and go in here, how I continue through it is up to me. I just want to make sure I'm hitting on a shape of a shadow, or the edge of a shadow, the edge of a form when I'm drawing. I just don't want to draw unpurposefully. I don't want to draw without a purpose. So we're in here, right? So I'm going to put that pencil point on the paper, and I'm going to start going down in here, and I'm just going to go, okay, there's a curve in here that moves around in here, and then it comes back out. There's a little chisel mark, and then it comes down again a little bit more, and it comes down in there, and then it goes back up, and I'm not going over the line exactly, I'm allowing for that, how far apart I draw those lines to have some sense of volume or width, okay? So I come back out here, and now I'm coming down the side. Now I know that your point of view is not the same as mine, right? So we're just going to have to bear with that. All right, now I'm turning around, and I'm up in here, and now I'm along the bottom of this guy. Now if I see like a little bit of a shadow, I can go back up there and draw that shadow like this, right? And do something like this in here and in there. And now I'm not going to lift up and go. I'm going to just come back down across in here, right? Then it shoots up in here, comes back down, shoots across. Now, I also want to talk about the speed of which you draw. I would not be motoring through these drawings, going really fast. You want your hands and eyes to work together. You want to get a sense of where parts of this object sit in relationship to other parts of the object, right? Now up in here, I don't know if you can see these little chisel marks or whatnot in this object. I'm just going in there picking up that information, right? Now, if I want to get out of there, there's tons of ways I can get out of there. I can come back down in here, draw across, right? Now I'm through in there, and then I'm over in here along the bottom edge, and it's going to start to turn over. Now, when it starts to turn over, I'm trying to get a sense of how that turns over, and I'm really trying to pay attention to the length of a line and where it wants to turn over. Now, we're going to be talking, we're going to be talking a lot about relationships. So over in here is that in there. This in here is down in here. I get a sense of where this is in relationship to this, which gives me the sense of how tall this is and how wide this is, and I can start to judge that in there, right? So we do want to come up with a like set of relationships to describe this. We also want to have fun in where we go. So now let's say I stop there, and I just want to check one thing, a couple minutes, and we'll just continue back in here, okay? So now I get up in here. I see that goes up in there. And then there's this little flange part here that describes this area in here. And that's going to come down, but I want to get back over to this point. So I'm going to come down in here, and I feel like I can get a sense of how that plaster has been shaped by the marks, the chisel marks and whatnot, into there, and then over into there, right? Now, this in here was followed through in here. And now I can sense that, okay, I'm off, I'm too narrow. This is all a good thing because we're concentrating on relationships. So if you're off in here, I want you to start to get into the routine of going, okay, I just went through this drawing. I took 5 minutes to draw my hand or a simple object like a cup and a saucer. And I can see my relationships off. But I can see my relationships are good in other areas. So I want more of this and less of being off. I'll just aim to do better in the future. There's the crash. I'm going to keep working on this. And then when we come back to the next video, this will be pushed along. I'll talk about this a little bit, and then I'll do some more drawing. All right, guys? We'll see you soon, and I hope you're having a great first week of class. Bye.